Natsu Rendan 2 begins. Bleach takes inspiration from Saint Seiya and Yu Yu Hakusho. Naruto takes inspiration from Slam Dunk and Hunter x Hunter. But what does One Piece take inspiration from? I used to think that it was the most original out of the three, but the truth is that its inspiration is just very secretive. We know about Bleach and Naruto because they drew from popular manga in the same magazine, but One Piece drew from Esteban, the Cities of Gold, which is an underground anime that aired before Dragon Ball even started. There's a video on the subject, but it's too long and I wanted to see what I could find for myself, so I watched all 39 episodes and listed all the similarities. The protagonists have a few similarities. Both Luffy and Esteban have childlike personalities. Both were saved from the water by a man in their past who they now respect, Shanks and Mendoza. These two also have a treasure that they share between them, the straw hat and the medallion. Just as Luffy promised to return the hat to Shanks, Mendoza promised to return his half of the medallion to Esteban. The straw hat mostly has symbolic meaning, while the medallion is an actual MacGuffin to activate things. Both heroes have a father that is missing from the story. Esteban is trying to find him, while Luffy doesn't really care. The hero's dad is mysterious. Esteban's dad was connected to the Incas, and Luffy's dad leads the Revolutionary Army and barely appears. The great treasure in the Cities of Gold was prophesied to be found by Esteban, and Luffy's going to be the one to find the One Piece. Both characters have a connection to the sun. Esteban is the child of the sun, with the ability to bring out the sun, and Luffy has the powers of the sun god Nika. The main characters are connected to a prophecy that marks them as a savior and a god. There are multiple prophecies that say that Esteban is either an Inca god or messenger of the gods. Esteban's third ship is also called the Great Condor, the messenger of the sun god. Luffy has the power of the sun god and could be seen as a metaphorical reincarnation of it. Shanks and Mendoza are both confident leaders. They have a scene with the hero in a bar at the beginning. Both are shady figures. Mendoza seems to only work with the kids so that he can get to the 7 Cities of Gold, while Shanks seems to be also gunning for the One Piece, which could eventually put him at odds with Luffy. Both also have a short and fat subordinate. Both stories have a navigator in the crew, Nami and Mendoza. Both also have a translator who can understand ancient languages, which is important to getting to the end goal, Robin and Zia. These two also look similar, with black hair and blunt bangs. Tao and Usopp are both darker characters that are the team scientist. They both also had a strong connection to one of the destroyed ships, and were the saddest to see it go. Usopp had Going Merry, Tao had Solaris. Both stories involve sailing and adventure. The main character sails away from their home towards the beginning. They're on a journey to find a treasure that may or may not exist, the One Piece and the Cities of Gold. Both heroes are stowaways on a ship early on. Both stories reveal a character in a wooden container on a ship. Luffy was in a barrel, and Zio was in a crate. The crew recruits new members and gets a new ship. The plot has a formula of the heroes liberating people from their oppressors. In One Piece, this happens on several islands. In Esteban, the heroes save multiple tribes from Spanish rule, or rival tribes in several arcs. The heroes are also being chased by an enemy group. The Straw Hats are chased by the Marines every now and then, and Esteban is often chased by the Spanish. Later, Luffy becomes a target for capture because of his devil fruit, while Esteban has been a target for his sun powers. Robin and Zia were both pursued and captured for their translating skills. Both have a specific ancient civilization with a rich history that disappeared. It also had advanced technology. One Piece had Skypiea that went into the sky. Gold had the kingdom of Hiva, which sank. Skypiea had dials, and Hiva had Solaris and the golden condor. One Piece has other ancient civilizations that have high tech, like the ancient weapons. Both take heavy inspiration from the conquest of America and El Dorado, including cities of gold, cultures that worship gods, and Mesoamerican visuals. Most of One Piece's El Dorado influence is in Skypiea. The giant golden cube in the Condor looks like the poneglyphs. The first ship the heroes have is regular, Going Merry and the Nameless Ship. The second ship has futuristic tech powered by a unique source. Thousand Sunny has cola, and Solaris has solar energy. Esteban's third ship is a golden condor. One Piece could imitate that. Both stories have Amazon stand-ins. There's a location with warrior women, led by an old woman, and the heroes are going to be killed by them at some point, but they save themselves. Also, the first thing we see in Esteban's Amazon is a giant snake, while Hancock has a pet snake. The gates to the Cities of Gold are located where the Mountain of the Burning Shield and the 3 ruined cities intersect like an X. The One Piece is in the center of 4 points that intersect like an X. In Esteban, the Emperor of Hiva hid great treasures in the 7 cities before passing, similar to Roger hiding the One Piece in the Grand Line. Both of these are MacGuffins that the characters are searching for. Esteban loves to spam ancient temples with advanced technology and secret passages. A puzzle has to be completed to open them, and they often end up destroyed at the end of the arc. I wouldn't be surprised if One Piece did something similar down the road. Towards the end, we learned that the kingdoms of Hiva and Atlantis both mastered sun-based technology and were advanced civilizations. They eventually went to war for trivial reasons. Once they used the weapons of the sun, they destroyed each other and sank, similar to mutually assured destruction with nukes. One Piece's ancient weapons could be like the weapons of the sun, and the Void Century could involve a war between lost civilizations. In the last arc, they meet the Olmecs, which are aliens with futuristic tech, primarily a crystal that converts light and geothermal waves into energy. One Piece could also introduce aliens. They want the power of the sun, which destroys them like the Hiva and the Atlantis. When the Olmecs get the great treasure in the City of Gold, a solar unit, they connect it to their solar reactor, and it causes a world-ending meltdown. Esteban's father sacrifices his life to shut it down. There seems to be a pattern of greed resulting in death. Overall, this show is not worth your time. Every character except for Mendoza is annoying, and the only interesting parts of the story are the similarities to One Piece. The only reason I dragged myself through it is because the original video on the subject was far too long, and I had faith in my pattern analysis skills. In conclusion, I believe One Piece really drew from Esteban. It could be coincidental, but its influence is so apparent. The sailing seeds searching for a fabled treasure is at the core of One Piece's overarching story. The formula of liberating new people from aggressors is also at the core of most One Piece arcs. The connection to the sun god is blinding. Some of One Piece's characters and important lore bits seem to line up with Esteban. The only prediction I'm pretty confident about is that the Straw Hats will get a golden condor equivalent, only because it's so iconic and easy to implement. It's always interesting to find out what inspired our favorite stories.